The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. When the Pharisees, with some of the scribes who had come from Jerusalem, gathered around Jesus, they observed that some of his disciples ate their meals with unclean, that is, unwashed hands. For the Pharisees, and in fact all Jews, do not eat without carefully washing their hands, keeping the tradition of the elders. And on coming from the marketplace, they do not eat without purifying themselves. And there are many other things that they have traditionally observed, the purification of cups and jugs and kettles and beds. So the Pharisees and scribes questioned Jesus, "Why do your disciples not follow the tradition of the elders, but instead eat a meal with unclean hands?" He responded, "Well did Isaiah prophesy about you hypocrites, as it is written, 'This people honors me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. In vain do they worship me, teaching as doctrines human precepts.' You disregard God's commandment, but cling to human tradition." He summoned the crowd again and said to them, "Hear me, all of you, and understand. Nothing that enters one from outside can defile that person, but the things that come out from within are what defile. From within people, from their hearts, come evil thoughts, unchastity, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, licentiousness, envy, blasphemy, arrogance, folly. All these evils come from within, and they defile." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
If hand washing made people holy, we would be the holiest people ever. We have made a science of hand washing. We have public service announcements and signs to promote it. We have hand sanitizer everywhere you look. Now, believe me, I'm all in favor of hand washing. It can promote good health. But we can't take that next step to say, washing your hands makes you holy. Holiness is an inner quality, not an exterior one. The difference between Jesus and the Pharisees on this question is where our holiness is located. The Pharisees thought the law made them holy. The law was an exterior standard or guide for their lives. As an exterior standard, it was quantifiable. They could be certain that they had fulfilled the law. If they properly performed certain actions, they were holy. Hand washing was one of those actions. In order to make sure they kept the law, they increased those practices and expanded them to apply to more people. Now, what the Pharisees were demanding were good things to do, but they didn't understand something. By increasing those practices and expanding them, they added to the law. Exactly what Moses told them not to do, as we heard in our reading from Deuteronomy. They made the law a burden on the people rather than a gift from God. Jesus understood that our heart is the source of our holiness. It's an inner quality. It's not being holy or sinful isn't a matter of clean or dirty hands. It's about the good or the evil that comes from within us and is seen in our actions. It's about loving God and neighbor. Now, this is harder because there's not a standard guide to follow. But it's also more meaningful because our holiness is who we are. For the Pharisees, they kept the law because it's the law. Jesus called his followers to be people who love in all situations. That's the holiness that comes from our hearts. On this Labor Day weekend, we honor the work that we do and the workers who do it. Our work as Christians is to lead lives that are holy. It's not a matter of having clean hands. In fact, hands that are dirty from serving others are truly holy. We are called to be doers of the word and not hearers only. Loving service of others gives us clean hearts, and clean hearts are holy.